What's the game? No point asking who's to blame. 'Cause if you're gonna die, you're gonna die. If you're gonna die, if you're gonna die, if you're gonna die, if you're gonna die, die with your boots on. If you're gonna try, well, stick around, gonna cry. Just move along. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die, gonna die. Die with your boots on. If you're gonna die, well, stick around, gonna cry. Just move along. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die. 13, the beast is rising. The Frenchman did surmise. Through earthquake and starvation, the warlord will arise. Terror, death, destruction, poured from the eastern sands. But the truth of all predictions is always in your hands. No point asking when it is. No point asking who's to go. No point asking what's the game. No point asking who's to blame. 'Cause if you're gonna die, you're gonna die. If you're gonna die, if you're gonna die, if you're gonna die, die with your boots on. If you're gonna try, well, stick around, gonna cry. Just move along. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die, gonna die. Die with your boots on. If you're gonna die, well, stick around, gonna cry. Just move along. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die.
Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. No, that was not Iron Maiden. Well, it kind of was. That was the Iron Maidens with Die With Your Boots On. And on the line right now, we have the singer of the Iron Maidens, Bruce Chickinson, as she's known on show nights, Kirsten Rosenberg, as she's known right now. Kirsten, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Excellent, excellent. Well, Kirsten, I got to say, this is my first time speaking to you guys, but I have experienced the band once, and it is quite the fun show to see. It is like the perfect combination of everything that metal guys would want. It's hot chicks, it's great music, it's metal. I mean, it's like
when did you see the band?
Oh my gosh,
I'm putting you on the spot.
2010, I think it was. I was out in LA in 2010, and I caught you guys. I literally was there over a weekend and saw that you guys were playing somewhere, and just was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go check this out." And it's a great time.
Cool.
Well, let's talk a little bit about it now. Obviously, for people that are listening to this broadcast, this is you're going to be in the Cleveland area next Sunday on June 18th.
That's right.
And you're playing with my good friend Bill Peters and his show Metal on Metal. Talk a little bit about A, touring, and B, coming this far east. Because it's quite the drive. It's our first time to Cleveland, to that area, to Ohio. Yeah, let me just say, we are really lucky, and we're very aware of how fortunate we are. We're a tribute band, and yet we get to tour the world, literally. So I guess that means a big thank you to Iron Maiden for being so awesome and having so many fans around the world that are always clamoring to hear more Maiden music. So we picked a hell of a band to pay tribute to. But we've been so fortunate. We travel the world. We're about to, take off middle of the week and go. We've got some shows in Canada, then coming down, and Cleveland will be our first show back in the States, and then I believe we're in Michigan and Wisconsin. So it's a blast, and we're so fortunate. We're just so fortunate. We appreciate every minute. I like to think of us as mock stars, of course. Right, of course. Well, talk a little bit about, I'm sure when the band was formed, it was not a thought. I'm positive that somewhere, whenever the band was formed, it was just, hey, we all like Iron Maiden, let's do it. But you guys...
Absolutely, yeah.
But you guys have really lucked into it in a way where you've got a band, where you guys are doing cover work of a band that doesn't tour to death, to where it really leaves, they're iconic to where people always want to hear the music, but they're not out there doing it themselves, to where people are looking to still hear that music live, which has to be a benefit for you.
Oh, it's a huge benefit. I mean, Maiden has such a huge catalog and so many quote-unquote hits. Of course, these are hits that hardly ever got radio airplay or any, MTV video play or whatever, but nonetheless, they are hits. And then just so many deep cuts that are fan favorites. And yeah, when Maiden is touring, sure, they do pull from their older material, but they've got so much material. And of course, they're going to be promoting whatever current album they're touring on, naturally. So it leaves us with a huge, repertoire to choose from to satisfy the Iron Maiden fans out there.
Certainly. Now I have to imagine at this point the band's been around. What is it, like 15 years or so now?
Yes. It was formed when the girls were 10 years old. No, I'm kidding. But right, lest we give away our ages, I was not there in the formation, but I sure am grateful that they formed it. But yeah, it's been 2001 actually is when the band was founded.
Wow, so closing in on 20. Wow, that is a long
Woo!
time. So
this band, you know what? This band could have a baby already. This band could almost have a grandbaby already.
Then you guys could put the grandbabies together and do either a Lauren Harris tribute band or a
right.
One of those. Now talk a little bit about the relationship, if there is one, between Iron Maiden and you guys, because I mean I know I've seen pictures of Steve Harris interacting with some of you. What is there a relationship there, or there has to at least be a respect just for the fact that they're letting you use the name and not suing you to become, the trooper or whatever?
Well, Chris, I happen to be floating in Bruce Chickinson's pool right now. We're very tight. I'm kidding, of course. I'm delusional, actually. I'm still waiting for that invitation, Bruce. No. Actually, there's a really cool story I will tell you, although I did not experience it firsthand, and I'm very bitter about that because I had not yet joined the band. But years back when the band was playing in Mexico City, and they were on the same bill as Lauren Harris's band, and Iron Maiden must have been playing in town as well, but Bruce and Steve came to the Maidens show, and they stayed through the whole set, and you could see Bruce bobbing up and down with his hat on in the audience, so I hear. And afterwards, they came backstage and basically gave the girls the thumbs up. And so, and over the years, some of the members have met all of Iron Maiden. Some of us haven't met all of Iron Maiden, have just met maybe Nico or someone. But at various points, the band has had a chance to meet the entire band. And also, we're friends with Iron Maiden's keyboard player, and who's also Steve Harris's bass tech, Mr. Michael Tenney. And so that's cool. He's local to us, so we run into him all the time. But we are very, very fortunate. I mean, Maiden knows we exist, and they've, basically given us, or literally given us, the thumbs up, as it was. They, basically have at it, girls,
See,
So we're very, very, very grateful for that.
Sure, definitely. Now, this might have even happened before you were in the band, but I've always been curious. There's a certain amount of gimmick to, at least when I first started hearing about the Iron Maidens, there was a certain amount of gimmick that was to it. It's like, okay, it's hot chicks playing Iron Maiden music. At some point,
you're saying tits and ass are a gimmick, are you? Is that what you're saying? Is that what I'm hearing?
What I'm saying is it was at the start it was more of the gimmick than it is now, which is where I was going with this, is that it used to be a gimmick, but now it's not. Now it's a legitimate touring entity that kind of graduated from being a gimmick primarily because you guys do the music well.
Well, thank you. Well, absolutely. I mean, we still use that quote unquote gimmick because we always, it's in our tagline. Iron Maiden's the world's only all-female tribute to Iron Maiden. Well, yeah, we got boobies instead of pee-pees. So to use my grown-up words, we're not afraid to use the assets that we have. However, as you stated, a gimmick only takes you so far. The band's been around since 2001, gets to tour the world, and if the band didn't have the chops musically, then it would have just burned out. It would have been a flash in the pan. So, but yeah, I mean, absolutely. There is that gimmick, and we'll always, be the first to say, hey, we're a bunch of women doing this. But we got the chops to back it up.
Oh,
all right?
Perfect. Now, answer me this, and you don't have to say which one because it just probably wouldn't be good business for you to do it. But I'll throw one out there. How does the fact that when Iron Maiden puts out I don't want to say a bad record because they really haven't done many bad records, but when they put out a record that's not really well received, like the Final Frontier was not the best received Iron Maiden record, does that hurt you guys, or do you just kind of ignore that and move forward, or how does that work?
Oh, well, I mean, honestly, we haven't, the most recent material that we've pulled from is from Dance of Death, so we haven't even, gone beyond that, but I mean, no, to answer your question, I mean, what we might consider a quote-unquote flop, or I should say what maybe the Billboard chart might consider a flop, certainly you still got millions of people buying that record, supporting that record, and loving that band. So no, we're not affected by that. And we leave the more current stuff to them anyway. That's what they tour on, and eventually I'm sure it will become part of our repertoire as well.
Sure.
And there were some good songs on that record. By the way.
There were. And again, that's the thing is you can't really. I don't think. I mean, there's some that will argue that the Blaze stuff they don't like or whatever. But I mean, start to finish in their catalog, and there's really not any albums you're going to look at and say, yeah, that sucked. That's just not in their repertoire.
Exactly.
They
just don't do it.
Yeah.
They just don't suck.
Well, Kirsten, talk a little bit about some of your other stuff as well, because I'll be honest, up until Bill asked me to speak with you, I didn't know that you had, other like your animal rights advocacy and that you're into veganism and stuff. Talk a little bit about that stuff too, because that's definitely interesting.
I would love to. I love it when people ask me about that because that is an issue that is so close to my heart. It's like my number one self-identifier. And so thank you for asking. Yeah, animal rights has been something I've been involved with, aware of since I was a kid. I went vegetarian very young, and I went vegan in 1994. And it's something. It's just, and every day is. And as a Jew, I don't throw this term around lightly. Every day is a Holocaust for animals. Especially animals that are killed for human consumption. I mean, I could not to bring everybody down, but I could cite stats all day long about the literally billions of animals that are killed in the U.S. alone for human consumption, and the hellish conditions that they're raised in, and the hellish conditions in which they're slaughtered. I mean, just so many aspects, and it's just something that's really important to me. I used to co-own a vegan bakery when I lived on the East Coast. It's called Sticky Fingers Bakery, and it's still there in Washington, D.C. My business partner has it, and it's done amazing. It's won the All-Star Cupcake Wars on Food Channel. It actually won. It actually won the All-Stars episode of that as well. So it's just, what can I say? It's huge. It affects everybody. Of course, it affects the animals that we're talking about, but the environment, people's health, science, medicine, everything. And this world could use a lot more compassion towards humans and non-humans alike.
Sure. And for you personally, I mean, it unless I'm misunderstanding it, it's more than just a concept for you. Like, you've been published in several books, I understand, that, with some of your writing as far as about animal rights, correct?
Yes, that is true. That is true. Yeah, I mean, I live it. It's definitely, I've been so fortunate to be exposed to some really great minds and some great thinkers, and I've had the opportunity to be involved in various campaigns, everything from, anti-trapping ballot initiatives in states to just all kinds of campaigns, anti-circus, whatever, anti-fur. So it's stuff I'm always advocating for. If I'm not out there, on the sidewalk with my protest sign, then I always, try to advocate. Like, this is a perfect example. What a great forum. And
Sure.
Again, thank you for asking me about it.
Oh, sure. Not a problem. Well, let's swing it back around to the show that's coming up. That is next Sunday, June the 18th. What can fans expect that are going to be out there to see the show?
They can expect to have their faces melted, okay?
Okay.
They can expect to, they're going to hear the Iron Maiden classics. They're going to hear some deep cuts. That is for the real diehard fans out there. They're going to see Eddie. They're going to see Edwina. They're going to see a lot of, smoke and magic and just, chicks just shredding and rocking out. And you know what? Doesn't matter, female, male, hermaphrodite, whatever. We just rock, and everyone rocks with us. And it's just, fist-shaking, head-banging, pounding Maiden metal. That's what you're going to get.
And that's all you could really ask for on any night, isn't it?
I think so.
Excellent. Well, I'll tell you what, Kirsten, why don't we do this? Again, the show is Sunday, April 18th. Where's it at? Is it at the Beachland Ballroom? Is that right?
It is the Beachland Ballroom. It's all ages. What a great gift to give Dad, bring him to the show. So, yeah, we hope to see everybody there.
Absolutely.
And I believe we are playing with Chemikill.
Chemikill, too, yeah. Good show. Definitely going to be good. I will be there. I'll even put that out to my fans. I will be there, so buy me beer.
Absolutely, my man. I'd be happy to.
Awesome.
Trooper beer, of course.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it has to be the Trooper, or else it's not allowed. There will be no Budweiser or Miller Lite on that night, now will there?
Hell no.
Cool. Well, Kirsten, thanks so much for the time. And why don't we wrap this up with an Iron Maiden tune? What would you like us to wrap this up with?
Oh, I can pick anything?
Anything you'd like.
Give me some Moonchild, please.
All right. Well, let's do it right now. This is Iron Maiden. It is Moonchild right here on your Classic Metal Show.
7 deadly sins, 7 ways to win, 7 holy paths to hell, and your trip begins. 7 downward slopes, 7 bloodied hopes, 7 are your burning fires, 7 your desires.